Nigeria is a West African country with a rich history and an even richer culture. However, it's not seen that way by people outside of Africa. Despite the fact that Lagos, the most populous city in Nigeria with more than 15 million people, is your typical metropolitan hub of activity, outsiders still hold the preconceived notion that the country as a whole resembles the uncontacted tribes in the heart of the Amazon, instead of what it actually is, a country with a society that is no different than our own. In order to quell these misconceptions, SR1 has enlisted our very own Temi Sokoya to talk about the country she calls home. Hi, I'm Angela Evans, and welcome to another Cool Talk conversation. I'm joined with Temi Sokoya, a data analyst here at SR1, and she's also a native from Nigeria. First of all, Temi, thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me here.
And first of all, tell us just a little bit about where you grew up.
I grew up in a city called Abeokuta. Abeokuta is the capital of Ogun State. On the Nigerian map, Ogun State is found in the southwestern part of Nigeria.
I understand there are many types of ethnic groups in Nigeria. Can you tell us a little bit about where your family is from?
My family is from one of the major tribes in Nigeria. We belong to the Yoruba tribe.
And can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, the Yoruba tribe is different from other tribes on so many areas. Firstly, I would say the language. We speak a different language from the other tribes. I would say the way we dress, the kind of food we eat. When a Yoruba man or woman dresses up for an occasion, like a wedding, the outfit is different from when an Igbo or an Hausa, man or woman dresses up. I will also say our food, although we eat, rice, chicken, beef, like every other tribe, but there are some kinds of food like the amala and gbegiri with tewedu and the ofada and the ofada stew that is particular to the Yoruba tribe. And one thing I will also say about the Yoruba tribe is we are so big on respect. So they are so big on respecting, an elderly person, an elderly man or woman, and they believe that as a well-cultured Yoruba lady, if you want to greet an elderly person, you bend your knee, and for a guy, you bow or you prostrate, depending on where you are. If you're in public, you can take a bow, but if you're at home, you can prostrate. So it just depends. I would say the Yoruba tribe is very big on respect.
And is that something that you really enjoy and carry on?
You have no choice. Even if you don't really enjoy it, you have to do it because you are seen like you're disrespectful.
And are there differences with other tribes in Nigeria?
Yes, firstly, we speak different languages, and that's the reason why we all speak English. We speak English in schools, we speak English, at workplaces, because the Yoruba speak a different language from the Igbos, from the Hausas, so from the Ishekiris, from the Ijers, so we all have different languages in Nigeria. So that's the reason why we all speak English.
How was it as a child growing up then with the separate languages?
Like I said, because we all speak English, it's very easy for you to still communicate. The way Nigeria is zoned, we have the Yorubas in the southwest, we have the Hausas in the north, and all the way like that. So because of the way it is, most times the people around you are the people that speak the same language with you. So most times in your neighborhood, you have people speaking Yoruba. Although you might have few Hausa or you have few Igbos, but it's not really the case. So when you go to the north, most times people in the north speak Hausa. But when we get to our classrooms, when we go to our workplaces, we all speak English. So that's what brings everybody together.
And you mentioned where you grew up, but as you got older, did you live in other places in Nigeria?
Yes, I lived in other places. After I finished after I graduated from school, from college, I got a job in Lagos, so I moved to Lagos. Lagos is also in the southwestern part of Nigeria, and it's like an hour drive from where I was living. So it's not like I've really toured Nigeria.
You're still close to home.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you got there, is it different from your tribe where you grew up, or the same, or how is it?
I would say it's different because Lagos is a very busy place compared to Abeokuta. It's one of the most populous city in Africa. So you can imagine how it can be. It's just like the way you can compare Lagos to New York in the United States. So everyone is busy, everyone is on the move. And I grew up from a city whereby things are cool and calm. It's not the way Lagos, is and all that. But I adjusted actually. I had no choice because I was working and then I had to go to work. So I was able to balance that.
So how was the adjustment going from a smaller, calmer place to a place that's really busy and has a lot of people?
Okay, I would say firstly, I was so grateful because my workplace was very close to where I live. So most times I even I just trek to work, And compared to some people where they live in a place that is far from their workplace compared to their workplace, these people most times they wake up as early as 5 a.m. to go to work and sometimes get to work like around 9.
Oh, wow.
Because of traffic. And they leave work at 5, sometimes they get home 10, 11 and then have to wake up to that thing the next day, wake up 5, get to work 9 and then come, that's just the way Lagos is because there's like traffic everywhere. The city itself is not too big, but it's well populated. So I'm just grateful because that wasn't my case. So it was the transitioning was pretty easy for me.
So how does living in Nigeria compare to here in the United States? You mentioned Lagos is really comparable to New York City.
Yes, you can compare Lagos to New York. And Lagos is a place where we have a lot of organizations. Most multinational companies are in Lagos. Most business owners are in Lagos. Lagos is like the place. We have people from other parts of Nigeria moving to Lagos just to get a better job. And because of that, just like every other place here in the United States, a place where there is job opportunity, there is probability for accommodation to also be expensive. So for example, an accommodation that I can get for like 250,000 naira in Abeokuta can be like 500,000, 650,000 in Lagos.
So how do other places in Nigeria compare to places such as like here in Mississippi?
Here in Mississippi, I think I can compare Abeokuta to Mississippi because it's cool. Everybody is not on like the move, trying to run, is a cool and calm place. So I think I can pretty much compare Abeokuta a little bit to Mississippi, to Jackson, yes.
And so what made you want to decide to come here to the United States?
Okay, that's a very good question. I moved to the United States in 2016 and, with the intention to study. So I came here, I started my master's in 2016 and I finished in 2018. And after I finished in 2018, I thought to myself that, wait a minute, I can actually do a PhD. So I submitted applications and then I got an admission in 2019. And right now I'm in my 3rd year and very soon I'll become a doctor.
Do you like school?
Yes, I would say I do. I do because you get to learn more things. You get to it helps to increase your knowledge about different things, and for you to be able to be relevant out there. It's more especially if you want to work in an organization, you have to have the basis. You should have knowledge about what you actually want to do out there. So I think going to school gives you that platform that you actually need to be relevant in a work setting.
So how does school and education in Nigeria compare to school here in the United States?
Compared? Interesting. Okay, I'm going to say the similarities and then I will say the differences. So the similarity, I would say that the teaching curriculum is pretty much the same thing. The teaching curriculum in Nigeria, for example, a student that is in grade 6 here will be pretty much taught the same thing as a student that is in primary 6 in Nigeria. So you don't come from Nigeria and come here and feel like, oh wow, I don't know anything. No, that's not the case, because you are taught the same thing.
So you mentioned some of the differences. Do you feel like you were prepared when you came here to go to school in the United States?
Yes, I was actually. Like I said, firstly, the teaching curriculum is the same. So I wasn't new to anything I was being taught. So it didn't look strange to me because I had the basis. I did my bachelor's in Nigeria, so it wasn't strange to me. And I also worked after, so because of that, I sent emails. I used the computer and I do all of those things. So it was very easy for me to do that when I got here. So it's easy for me to check online for everything and anything I wanted to check for. The only thing I could say that was a bit challenging was the fact that I had to learn how to use APA style for my citation of articles, all those things. And it was very easy to also learn. The more you do, the better you become. So
when you came here, was there anything that surprised you about the United States?
That surprised me, yes.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yes. I was surprised seeing homeless people. I was surprised when I got here and then I saw people on the streets begging for food, begging for money. Maybe because the way the media portrays it is like Africa as a whole is the beginning and end of poverty. Mm-hmm. So coming to the United States, which is a developed country, and seeing homeless people, I wasn't expecting it, so I was really surprised. And I will also say that I was surprised of the credit system in the United States, because that's not the case in Nigeria. I was surprised seeing the fact that you can get a credit card. Everybody is wanting to give you a credit card, to get your food, to get your clothes, to travel, to do everything. In Nigeria, that's not the case. Although you can get loans maybe from the bank or from your workplace, but it's not like you live your life on credit. You don't go on credit just to buy your food. You have to pay cash. Nobody is going to sell food for you, sell food to you on credit. So, and another thing I also noticed here is that a lot of people are working 2-3 jobs just to make ends meet. An average person in Nigeria has just one job. Maybe because they also have a lot of bills from school loans, bills from medical bills, utilities, a lot of things. So they work 2-3 jobs just to be able to meet and pay off those bills. But that's not the case in Nigeria. Most times people have just one job, and I think I won't say that everyone is doing fine, just the way it's not everyone in the United States that is doing fine, but I would say that an average person in Nigeria works one job to be able to feed the family, to eat, and put food on the table, to get clothes and all of those things. So those are the things that surprised me when I got here.
Were there things that were not surprising when you got here?
Yes. I was expecting to come to a country that is well developed. So I wasn't surprised that there's constant electricity, unlike Nigeria. There is they are well advanced technologically. I would say this, that United States is a beautiful country. It is. Like every country has its own pros and cons, its own beautiful and ugly side. And I think that's also the way I want people to also view Nigeria. Yeah, that's Nigeria is not just, a bad place like people think. So it has its own beautiful and it has its own ugly sides. And I would say that coming to the United States, I would say United States is a beautiful country.
And where all have you lived here in the United States or been to?
Okay, I did my master's in Ohio, so I've lived in Ohio State, in the city of Athens. I've lived in Texas. I was there in Dallas. I've been to Atlanta. I've been to Florida. I've been to New York. Just few places. I've not really traveled much. I hope I will get to travel very soon.
And here in Mississippi too.
Yes, and here in Mississippi, exactly.
Do you like traveling around to different areas of the United States and seeing, the different areas and different things?
Yes, I do. I won't say I enjoy traveling so much, because I'm a bit introverted, but all the same, I like it when I make road trips with my friends, and they are there, they're able to make things lively, they're able to, we gist while traveling, we do all of those things. So I think I would say I really like having road trips with my friends.
Do you have a favorite part here in the United States?
I don't have, but I think I want to go to Las Vegas. I want to, my friends went there like some months ago, but that was when I got married, so I couldn't travel with them. But I hope very soon I'm going to go myself. What
do you like about here in Mississippi?
I like the fact that it's quiet. I like the fact that everyone is not on the move. Like, you can do your own thing at your own time without anybody interfering. I like it's a quiet place, it's a peaceful place, I would say, depending on the parts that you live. Let me put it that way, because definitely there are some parts that are not so peaceful, but I would say that it's a cool place to be.
And can you compare for us people in the United States and people in Nigeria? Kind of how were they different or similar?
Okay, I think I should compare the black people, because we are blacks. Okay, I would say this: when I go to Mississippi, to Jackson especially, I was thinking, I had to ask myself, wait a minute, am I in Nigeria? Because I was seeing a lot of black people everywhere. So one thing I noticed is the fact that the black people here and Nigerians are religious. Like, almost every street, everywhere you go to, you find churches. And I'm also a Christian, so I go to church, and you see the way they worship, you see the way they do things. So I would say that they are religious. And another thing I would say is that they love seasoned food. I know blacks they love seasoned food, and in Nigeria too, we love seasoned food. And when you compare their cookouts, because I've been to few cookouts, and a Nigerian party, it's pretty much similar, because they love music, they love to dance, they love to do all of those things. So I would say that we kind of have like similar way of life in the way we do things. And another thing I noticed is when a black mom, an African American mom, is talking to a child, she can talk to a child with her eyes without saying anything. And the child will understand what the mom is saying. And that's just the way it is in Nigeria. Your mom doesn't have to tell you you need to leave that place before you know that you need to leave that place.
Moms can speak with their eyes.
Exactly.
It seems to be the same everywhere, everywhere you go. Now, you mentioned a little bit that you did get married. Did you go home to get married?
Yes. I went home to get married to the love of my life. His name is Tolulokwe. Just in case you watch this video, babe, I love you. Okay, so I got married. I traveled to Nigeria to get married. And we had our traditional wedding, and we had a white wedding, because Nigeria was colonized by the British. We still do things the British way, so we still have the white wedding, and we had our traditional wedding the first day, and then we had the white wedding the second day.
And is that something you wanted to do?
Is that something? Oh, I looked forward to it. I looked forward to it. My siblings looked forward to it. My parents looked forward to it. And his family, his siblings, everyone looked forward to it. And we're so grateful that the whole thing, it was a glorious celebration. And we were so happy for how everything turned out. I would say, like, God surpassed our expectations. We planned quite all right, but it was also awesome the way everything turned out.
Tell us a little bit about that day and kind of your thoughts.
About that day.
When was it?
When was it? That was June 4th and 5th of June 2021. So we tagged our wedding A Good Thing 2021, and the tag is from the scriptures: "He that findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and obtaineth favor from the Lord." And we thought to ourselves, you're a good thing, not just the wife, but the man. A woman that also finds a good man, it's also obtains favor from the Lord. So we started to tag our wedding A Good Thing 2021, because we believe that we have both found good things and we both obtained favor from the Lord. And the day was glorious. The first day was glorious. I got dressed, and And then the way it is, for the Yoruba tribe, the man would dance in with his friends first, and so that was the case with my husband. And then afterwards, I danced in with my friends, and like I think I mentioned something earlier that we are big on the fact that if the man has to prostrate and then the woman has to kneel. So that was what we did. So he came prostrated for my family that I want to marry your daughter. And I came also and I knelt down. They prayed for us, and that was just the way the first day went. And the second day we went to church. The pastor, we use, because I'm from an Orthodox church, so we have bishops and venerables and reverends, so they pronounced us husband and wife. And afterwards we went to have like the big celebration where we dance.
The fun part.
Yeah, the fun part. And we dance.
Did your husband have moves?
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
It sounds like a great thing.
Yes.
So now you're talking about the two different cultures. What is something that people here in the United States might get wrong about Nigeria or might not understand?
Okay, firstly, I think I need to say this, that we don't live in huts. And we don't still live in the days of Adam and Eve where we are still using leaves to cover our body. So I would say Nigeria is pretty much the same as the United States. We have banks just like we have in the United States. We have hospitals. We use debit cards. We have roads. We have cars. Because I've had people ask me, "Oh, do you have cars in Nigeria?" I say, "Of course we do." So it's just the same way it is here. Nigeria has been westernized, so we do pretty much the same thing they do in the Western countries. Mm-hmm. So we go to school. And I said something earlier about the teaching curriculum. So that means we also go to school. We go to church. We have buildings. We do woman hair. So we do basically the same things that they do here.
So like when you go to the mall or go to the bank or anything, is it really just similar as it is here?
Exactly. It's similar as it is here. When you go to the mall, you can shop for clothes, for shoes. You have restaurants, you have sections where we can play games. There's some malls that you can also watch movies. We also have all of those things in Nigeria, just like we have in the United States. It's the same thing. When you go to the bank, it's the same thing. You can deposit, you can withdraw, just the same way it is. Just the same way it is here in the United States.
And now, what is something that you want people to know about Nigeria?
I would say that in Nigeria, we are big on social support. We support one another. Like, everyone is into your business. It's not common for you not to know your neighbors in Nigeria, but I noticed that it's common here. Like, you can live in a place for 5-10 years and then you don't even know you don't know your neighbors. But that's not the case in Nigeria, and we are so big on supporting one another. You can hardly, in Nigeria, if somebody does something, the neighbors, aunties and uncles will correct you even before your parents do. Even before your parents do. And then another thing is, we love to party. When you see Nigeria, you see party. And my tribe, the Yoruba tribe, oh my God, we are big on parties. And we call it Owambe. And I will say this, that it's so funny. Because we are so big on parties, sometimes people that even attend your parties, you don't even know them. They are friends of friends. I can say that for my wedding, like 70% to 80% of those that were in attendance, I actually did not. I don't have like a one-on-one relationship with them. It's like friends of family, friends of sisters, friends of parents, that actually attend your wedding or attend your ceremony. So we are really big on supporting each other in Nigeria. So that's what I want you to know. When you come to Nigeria, the support will always, people are there to support you. People are there to be into your business.
Would you encourage others to learn about Nigeria, to talk to people, to visit even?
Yes, please visit. I would say you need to visit. But this, I would say, when you're visiting, just know where you're going to. Because of some things that are happening right now in Nigeria, some parts of the country are not so safe. But I would say that Nigeria is a very, very beautiful place to visit. It's a very beautiful place. I think visiting Nigeria, we also help people to know that it's not just all about the arts and all those things that they see on the TV. I could remember I spoke to some students and I showed them an image of the arts. I showed them another image of a very big mansion in Abuja, and then I showed them like an overview of Lagos, the city, the nice part of Lagos. And I asked them, where do they think these images are from? And one said, the image, the overview of Lagos city. Someone said, oh, maybe this is Las Vegas. Another person said, oh, maybe this is Dubai, because of the tall buildings and all of those things. And then for the house, somebody was saying, maybe it's a house in the United Kingdom, maybe it's a house in Canada. And for the arts, they said, oh, this is definitely somewhere in Africa. So I think coming to Nigeria, we help them to know that, yes, we can have the ugly side. We also have the beautiful places. We have the beautiful places in Nigeria, and we say that Nigeria is indeed beautiful, and you need to visit.
And before we go, is there anything else you want to add?
Okay, I will just add this for those that are interested in learning about Nigeria. Thank God we're having this YouTube. We're having this video. It's a way for you to learn. You can also look up things. Thank God for Google. You can check YouTube videos. You can check other things just for you to know more about a particular place. Because I found out that there are a lot of Americans that have not even traveled outside their country. So yes, the media might portray something, but checking YouTube videos, checking documentaries help you to know about a country, helps you to know about a place, even if you have not visited. So you have an idea of how the place looks like. You have an idea of things they do. You have an idea of the way they live. You have an idea of their culture. So I will say that even if you cannot visit, not everyone will be buoyant enough to say they're visiting. You can look up things, increase your knowledge, be vast, get to know things about what is happening, not just around you, but around the world.
Well, Temi, thank you so much for talking with us and joining with us today and sharing your experiences with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us for this Cool Talk conversation with Nigerian native Temi Sokoya. We look forward to you joining us again soon. Remember to like this video, leave a comment, share this with someone you think might enjoy it, and subscribe so that you never miss a Cool Talk conversation. What was your favorite part of this interview? Let us know, and we'll see you soon.